Hi and welcome back to the Native Speaker Experience. This is a quick summary lesson of what we looked at in our longer session yesterday about using the cause and effect phrases. So a key factor is another useful phrase for saying that something is an important cause in some effect. So we looked at starting this with a gerund subject, so a gerund plus a noun phrase or an adjective here would start with a verb ing and then this either a noun or an adjective here. Then it will work with the verb be. Why? A key factor uses the verb be. So I am, you are, it is, he was, she was, they were, they have been. It'll always be some form of be here. Then it's a key factor in. If students make a mistake, it's usually here or here, so you've got to be careful with those. And then if you use a verb, it must be verb ing. This is often an area where students make a mistake. As we said yesterday, 83% of all mistakes in English, grammar mistakes, are somehow related to verb forms. If you can clean up your verb usage, you will go a long way to improving your English, both in terms of accuracy and fluency. And then here you'll have either an adjective or object over here. So it's an object would be a noun. So doing regular exercise is a key factor in keeping fit. Having access to a gym is a key factor in staying in shape. So keeping fit and staying in shape, two nice synonym phrases there of when you are healthy and you want to stay healthy. Then being active is a key factor in getting fit. Just on one thing there, oops a daisy. Sorry, we just went too far there. When we talk about keeping fit and staying in shape, they mean that you are already fit and want to stay that way. And then getting fit means you're not fit and you want to change the situation and become fit. So there's a little difference there, just a nice language point that you want to bring up. Okay, having a good relationship with your bank manager is a key factor in running a business, or having a good relationship with your bank manager is a key factor in having access to funds, formal version of money. And having a good relationship with your boss can be a key factor in getting a promotion. And we're going to look at later a thing called hedging, and that's a nice introduction to it, but we'll be looking at that in more detail. So it doesn't always have to be just is or was or has been. It could be one of those. So the key takeaway points here is a key factor is a very good cause and effect phrase. It works with the preposition in and it works with some form of the verb be. Okay, it's not have, it's not play. No, don't make that mistake. If you're starting with a verb, it must be verb ing. If you want to use a verb over here, it must be verb ing. The verb form for be is a common mistake by students. The preposition in is also a mistake by students. And then realizing that if you use a verb, it must be verb ing. This is a common mistake by students. If you start a sentence that's not a command, then it's usually going to be verb ing as well. Okay, so good practice for you, and what we saw a lot of you doing yesterday is imagine a scenario in your subject where these sentences, this structure could be used if you're doing biomedical engineering, or if you're doing marketing or chemistry or accountancy. Think of a situation in your subject where this could be of use to you, how you could make it work for you in assignments, exams and essays, etc. Okay. Now here we're going to look at be a key factor in. Okay, and we see we've added a second subject here. So doing regular exercise is a key factor in the elderly keeping fit. Having access to a gym is a key factor in the public staying in shape. So if you're involved in health and fitness, or if you're in a government department during COVID-19, for example, and we want to specify who this will be a benefit to, then we would specify them here. Okay, being active is a key factor in those who are overweight getting fit. So for example, those is another very valuable word for people, and students often don't realize it, or they might know it but they forget to use it. So the next time you're writing, instead of saying people, 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 people all the time, you can say those who are overweight. Then, having a good relationship with your bank manager is a key factor in young women running a business. So if you're giving a presentation, maybe you're doing gender studies, or maybe you're a business mentor, this could be, and you want to specify that you're talking about a specific group. You want to narrow the focus down to a specific group. They could go in here. But again, as we see, the verb form and that rule stays the same. This sentence could be a key factor in immigrants having access to funds. So, for example, if an immigrant comes to a country and starts a business, then they might need to have access to funds. Here again, the person who's speaking or writing has narrowed the focus down to immigrants. And then having a good relationship with one's boss can be a key factor in temporary employees getting a good reference. When you leave your work, you need a letter from your boss. That doesn't happen in every country, but it's very common in English-speaking countries, and it's one of the key documents you need above your CV, above your qualifications. Sometimes if your previous boss doesn't give you a good reference, the future boss will be less inclined to hire you. So here again, this sentence is looking at temporary employees. So there we saw that's how we can narrow the focus on talking about somebody very specific. All we do is we create a space between a key factor in the verb ing and we slip it in here into this spot, and it works really well. Okay, so that's a key factor in there. Okay, now so this one is just a repeat, as you can see, of the first one, and we can see the pattern there. It's very important to observe the patterns in the language, okay, so that you can just build it anytime you need. Okay, and here we could say doing regular exercise is a key factor in losing weight. Having a good relationship is a key factor in being married. Being patient is a key factor in dealing with the public. Being patient is a key factor in working as an au pair. Contacts are a key factor in setting up a business. And I created that to show you that sometimes you don't need a verb and you just leave it empty. Okay, having contacts is a key factor in setting up a business. So there, in those last two sentences, we've seen that sometimes we drop the verb ing. If we don't feel it's necessary, we don't put it in. But if we feel it helps, we add it. But you must remember that the form must be verb ing form. Now, a similar one to that is play a significant role in. Okay, now it could be play or plays. And then we say having children plays a major role in bonding a couple. Now, as you can see, it's always, with this word role, the verb will always be play or plays. Okay, and the preposition is again in. Okay, and if you use a verb, it's verb ing. So similar to the last one, but the verb has changed. It is not is a major role. That is a mistake. It must be play a major role. Okay, so here, because we're using this gerund structure, we treat the gerund like an it. I play, you play, it plays. But having children plays. So children play, but having children plays. So even though this noun is plural, because it starts with this gerund, this verb form will be treated like this is an it. I play, you play, he plays, she plays, it plays. Okay, so having children plays a major role in bonding a couple. So you can be a significant role, a major role, and then if it's more, if it's very, 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 very important, we start using more important words like vital role. And again, in staying in shape. So having access to a gym plays a vital role in staying in shape. As we said to our Spanish students yesterday, this word here, vital, you need to be careful. Your top teeth have to touch your bottom lip, v, and not like b. Okay, so millions and millions and millions of Spanish speakers all around the world often make this mistake, so you have to watch that. And it's not vital, it's vital. Vital, and it's not vital, it's vital. Vital, good, like bottle. Good. Okay, that point is fine there. All right, so let's move on now. So being active plays an essential role in getting fit. So it's essential, Lovely. So we have a significant role, a major role, a vital role, an essential role, and plays a crucial, not crucial, 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 plays a crucial role in running a business, plays a critical, not critical, but critical, a critical role in having access to funds. So especially our European cousins, be careful, because sometimes crucial, critical, vital, essential, those words in Spanish, for example, French, Italian, Polish sometimes, for example, they're very similar, and you might export your native pronunciation into English, and that can cause a problem. Whereas our Arabic cousins and Asian cousins have to learn this word from the very beginning or from scratch, then they don't mispronounce it, and they're ahead of you then. So be careful. You have the advantage of knowing what it means because it looks so similar to your language, but be careful. For example, a lot of our European cousins mispronounce this very simple word. They say significant, but it's of course not that in English. It's significant. Okay, so significant. Of course, this one is always mispronounced by students. It's not a major role; it's a major role. So significant, major, vital, essential, crucial, critical. Okay, and then down here we've used significant again. Okay, so again, the main points to take away: this role word has a lot of adjectives that can fit in there. Significant means important, major means very, very, very important, vital, essential, crucial, and critical. Well, maybe there's 4 veries there. It's very, 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 very important. Okay. Again, don't forget, if you start with a verb, it must be verb ing, and if you use a verb after this construction, it is verb ing, and the preposition is in. Okay. Now we're going to look at this with the cause and effect. So here you have the cause, and over here you have the effect. So we're going to use the same structure again. So having teams input on the validation protocol plays a major role in promoting the purpose of the validation. Now this fancy schmancy sentence was given to us by one of our students, and they're using those subjects, these examples rather, how they feel they would be useful in their own subject. Let's have a look at another one now from another student who studies marketing. Launching a marketing campaign or holding a marketing campaign plays a vital role in developing a business. So there are a lot of verbs that can go there. Launching means to start. Once it's starting, another word you could use is holding, or indeed running a marketing campaign. These are options you can put there. Plays a vital, don't forget, vital role in developing a business. Making medical devices plays an essential role in promoting the health and safety of patients. So one of the students there is working in the medical device area, and that's the example they gave us. Having a good data set plays a crucial role in developing a reliable model. Wow, there's a very good one as well. I think that was somebody who was studying data analytics. Or having a good data set plays a critical role, a key role in, and then verb ing to whatever you want to say there. Okay. Don't forget, key is also another word that means important, and so a key factor that we saw earlier can also be a key role. Okay, but don't forget, it's play a role. Okay. And speaking different languages plays a significant role, a substantial role, and a considerable role. Again, these words in terms of pronunciation: significant, substantial, and considerable. So don't say significant, substantial, considerable. Don't do that, because it reduces the value. And if you're giving a presentation, if you're in a job interview, that just makes me cringe. You don't want to be that person who has poor pronunciation. So that can make a difference, So speaking different languages plays a significant role in getting an international job. And then we said to the student yesterday that that's okay if you're having a coffee with somebody and it's not a very serious situation. You can say getting a job in an international firm if it was slightly more formal. Okay, so takeaway point here, when you're using roll, it uses the verb play, but it also uses the preposition in. If you use a verb afterwards, it must be verb ing. Okay, also here, pronunciation for our European language cousins. So even if you're South American, that makes you one of our European cousins because of you're using Spanish or Portuguese. So significant, major, vital, essential, crucial, critical, key, significant, substantial, considerable. So watch the pronunciation of those. Now, one of the other issues that we came up against yesterday was hedging in academic writing. So hedging is a technique of using certain words and phrases that allows for additional possibilities and avoids committing to one concept entirely. This is particularly useful in academic writing when you want to be careful with your language and avoid issues like overgeneralizations. So sometimes you might want to say something that you feel is true, but you're aware that this might not always be true. So instead of saying all Irish people eat potatoes all the time, that is okay if you're joking, but if you try to say that in an academic situation, people are going to be saying, listen, you are crazy. That is not true. So you'll have to change your language. Now, when you're hedging with these cause and effect construction phrases, I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very simple, only a few things will change. What really changes is instead of having be, like am, are, is, was, were, have been, has been, over here, we're going to use a modal verb, adverb, and be combination. So have a look here. Acknowledging others' views can sometimes be a key factor in new people in a company having a good relationship with colleagues. Okay, so we included the whole shebang in this sentence. We put in a second subject and we have the verb ing in both places. Okay, but instead of saying is, we are for some reason making this more hedged. We're being more careful with our language. We're not being as definite with our language. Why do we worry about this hedging business? Well, in academic writing, we have to be careful how we state things, because if we say something is absolutely true and it's not always like that, then we can easily be criticized, and what we're writing is then of less value. Or in business, if you say something overgeneralized, you could be held responsible for that, and you might need to say, no, read it carefully. I said it can sometimes be, and in that case you're covered. Okay, these are all examples by the students from yesterday's lesson. Testing autonomous vehicles may often be the main factor in validating safety protocols. So in this case, the student couldn't think of a second subject. No problem, that's absolutely fine. And the student changed it here to say it's the number one reason. So in that case, a key factor in, they went a lot stronger and they said the main factor in validating safety protocols. Okay, so testing autonomous vehicles may often be the main factor in validating safety protocols. I think that was from a student who studies AI testing and AI technology, and that was one of their examples. Having a good knowledge of mathematics can sometimes be a key factor in solving problems. Lovely. There's a really nice sentence. Again, one of the students who uses a lot of mathematics, and they were using that. I think that might be a mechatronics student perhaps that gave me that one. Traveling around could frequently be a key factor in gaining a different cultural experience. Now, I did say to the student that this one here is very informal, traveling around. But you could say traveling substantially, maybe. Traveling around the world, perhaps. This could make it a bit more formal, but just be aware that that's a pretty informal structure there. Nothing wrong with that. If you're having a chat with somebody, it can be used. So could frequently be. So can, may, could. These can be used as the modal verb, and then sometimes, often, frequently, these can be your adverb, and these make your sentence less sure of itself and less open to criticism, because you're not saying that you're 100% correct. So now if somebody says, is that true? You can say, well, I didn't say it's always true. I said it can sometimes be. It may often be. It could frequently be. a key factor in, and then verb ing, and you can add your sentences as you go along. So, for example, having a good virus clearance may often be a key factor in keeping products safe. So this was one of the students who I think is looking at medical devices and things like that. And if a company has a good virus clearance, this means that their plant has had no problems with viruses, etc. Or if medical workers have clearance that their ID card says that they have had no viruses, this is how this could be used. So having a good virus clearance may often be a key factor in keeping products safe. So again, these were all really nice examples thrown in by the students. The first student put in a second subject. The remaining students couldn't think of a subject that they needed to narrow in on, so I didn't force them to do one. You only put that in if you really need it. Okay? And that's all from me. The very best of luck.